Joan, and this is a steal from the anthology Them. Now, I stumbled on this anthology and I managed to watch it all the way through. And I'll tell you, just from the beginning, I actually liked it because I'm seeing so many reviewers who basically don't. But I think that this anthology really illustrates a few Bible concepts. And nowadays, people pretty much want to hear anything but something from the Bible. But the point I want to make is that you think that all things are new, and what you're looking at and just examining now, thinking this is some new thing, is something that has been recorded as coming. It's coming. And it's like, well, like now it's here. So the whole basic thing behind the anthology, which was 10 parts, is that a young, upwardly mobile couple move from the south to the west. They move from the country, the rural area, to the city in California in 1953. Now, they are a heavily melanated couple, and they have 2 daughters. One is a teenager and one is about 5 or 6 years old. Now, let me say from the very beginning, all the performances were very, very good. And the cinematography, or just the general look of the production, was just beautiful. Whoever was behind it was very, very talented and had a very keen eye for detail. But I think that the major question people had that I saw, at least from other reviews, was like, why was this made? Now, it could be that it was made to incite black people to anger. I mean, because you're already seeing riots, that have happened due to things that are being done to African Americans. And I think that it's easy to look at this film, this anthology, and say, okay, that was 1953, that was almost 70 years ago. We're so different now. But I've noticed something in movies that if you go back to movies when they first made talkies, back in like 100 years ago, back in the 20s, they will say things like, well, how could this happen? This is the 1920s. Then you'll come back 30 years later, something will happen, and somebody in a movie will say, well, how could this happen? We're in the modern age. We're in 1950. You come back 20, 30 more years, somebody says, well, these are the 80s. How could this happen? So the thing is that people don't change. I mean, individuals, well, what I'm saying is that the times change, the date on your calendar changes, but people's basic personalities, people's societal personalities don't change. That's why you can look at a scripture like this and see how it applies now. Well, before I even get to that, let me explain something. And that is, well, I've already said that. They moved from the South. Now, there was a reason why they moved from the South. And I think you'll have to get to you have to get all the way to episode 5 to know totally why. But you'll have some ideals by around the 3rd episode. They tell you that the husband suffered from trauma induced from being a soldier. And he doesn't go into a lot of details, but it has something to do with mustard gas and the effects it had on human skin. Then in episode 5, well, in that episode 3, they show how his wife was very patient with him and kept the family together by explaining to her daughters that, I think the word she said was, he's just tired, so, leave him alone. So when she goes through her trauma, which is based upon her being left home alone while being black and having a small baby, he pretty much does the same thing for her. When the children begin to look at her like mom is going nuts, he still takes up for her and keeps the family together. So I thought that that was a very strong point in this film. And I also felt that the film is illustrating that these are strivers. This couple, this highly melanated couple who's moving into a totally white environment, they are strivers. They believe that there is really nothing they can't do, especially working together. And I think it's also no accident that they got opposing astrological signs to play the husband and wife. You have the wife is a Leo, the husband is an Aquarius. Both are fixed signs, so both are given to stubbornness, but also both are given to working hard for what they want. And once they have formed a certain ideal, a certain goal, it takes a whole lot to change them from it. So another question I had was, who is them? Because it seemed to me like the movie is showing you the perspective of Lucky, the wife. So are they saying that the neighborhood they moved into is them, or are they them? So that question is answered in episode 10, and so I won't tell you the answer here. But if you look at this particular still, this is showing the response of the community when they moved in. And also notice that most of them are wearing sunglasses. And as I've said before, that's a subconscious clue that these people have secrets. Now, there was another film that came out in 2004, and it was named Them. And I think that in that film, the acronym meant the hidden evil. Let me hold on. Let me look that up. Okay, for that 2004 miniseries, Them meant totally hidden extreme magic. And I think that that fits here just as well, because I think anytime someone is trying to manipulate you, that is a form of magic or witchcraft. And I think that they're showing it to you here. Well, I think anytime people have hatred that is not based upon self-defense, it's probably a form of magic. And here they're trying to scare them out of the house that they bought. That is manipulation also. So that is a form of magic. So anyway, the scripture that I think this illustrates is this.